Brainworx BX Refinement v3 is a harshness control plugin that preserves your mix's articulation, clarity, and detail. You can use BX Refinement to smooth out edgy vocals, harsh cymbals, spiky acoustic guitars, and resonant masters. It applies deharshing based on peak levels and allows you to go soft or surgical with the processing, making it ideal for complex signals. The original version of BX Refinement was released over 10 years ago. Version 3 introduces a new Brainworx GUI, added features, and code that's been updated for optimal performance and stability. We'll cover everything in detail, but if you want the TLDR, there's now a wide character option, separate modulation you can assign to the damping and presence controls, the option to use an external signal as the dynamic source, a random wave shape in the LFO section, the ability to solo various modules, a monomaker and stereo width knob, the choice to process just the sides of the stereo field, a resizable GUI, and different color options. To demo Brainworx BX Refinement v3, start a free Megaplan trial using the link below. This will give you access to all of Plugin Alliance's products for 30 days. The damping knob is BX Refinement's main feature. It reduces harshness by attenuating peaks in your audio signal using a peak band EQ. The value you set acts as a reduction baseline, and you can increase the reduction further by a variable value using the modulation options. The character switch lets you choose from 3 different filter characteristics. Soft uses second-order filtering, hard uses fourth-order filtering, and wide uses a wider bandwidth. When using this feature, flip through the options after turning up the damping knob and pick the one that suits your sound the best. Once you've tamed harshness, you may want to slightly adjust your top end. The presence knob applies a shelving filter that boosts high frequencies in a way that sounds transparent. Think of this as a way to rebalance the signal. It's also possible to modulate the presence parameter. Modulation is a big part of BX Refinement. The dynamics section analyzes the dynamic profile of your incoming audio signal. Peaks in the signal result in a greater control value. For example, if I map the dynamics module to modulate the damping knob, peaks in the incoming audio signal will lead to more damping. The same thing applies to the presence knob, except when you set a negative presence value. In that case, the modulation causes the value to decrease further. This meter displays the current modulation level. You can adjust the maximum amount of modulation using the range parameter. And control how fast the dynamics module reacts to the incoming signal with the speed parameter. If you want to use an external source instead, such as another track, you can do that by clicking the external button. The track you've routed into the plugin's sidechain input will now appear on this meter. Instead of relying on an input signal, the LFO module generates a control signal in the shape of a sine wave by default. You can adjust the rate of the LFO by choosing a Hertz value. If you click Sync, you can set the rate in note values. Depth controls the intensity of the modulation applied. And phase shifts the starting point of the LFO cycle. If you want to introduce some unpredictability, you can choose a random wave shape. Let's say you've selected LFO as the modulation type in the damping and present sections. There's a percentage value in each modulation drop-down menu that controls the modulation intensity, allowing you to dial in the right amount of modulation for each module. The solo drop-down isolates different components within BX refinement. You can audition the damping, presence, mid-channel, and side-channel.
Been a couple months you've been missing me. Been a couple months you've been missing me.
The saturation knob adds tube-like saturation up to 80%. It's a great way to color your sound and further reduce harshness. Beyond 80%, you'll start to introduce more aggressive distortion.
Been a couple months you've been missing me. Been a couple months alone.
The mono maker sums the low end of your signal into mono up to the selected frequency. Stereo width adjusts the width of your recordings, letting you narrow or widen them. The mix knob adjusts the blend between the processed and unprocessed signal. Turning this towards 0 introduces more of the dry signal. Mode changes the channel that processing is applied to. You can selectively target your mids and sides, or just your sides. Up at the top, there's a bypass switch, GUI scaling options, undo and redo buttons, and 4 parameter banks. You can copy the settings from one bank to another, experiment with different settings, and revert back without losing your work. The reset button resets the parameter values in each bank. There's also an option to change the highlight color in the plugin's GUI. To demo Brainworx BX Refinement v3, start a free Megaplan trial using the link below. This will give you access to all of Plugin Alliance's products for 30 days. If this video helped you out, give it a like and subscribe to the Plugin Alliance YouTube channel for more walkthroughs like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.